Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting. I really appreciate it. And I love to see some familiar faces and a lot of new faces. I also want to recognize Caesar, who is running for City Council. And we are very excited to support each other, usher in some new leadership. First of all, my real name is Buffy, so I know you want to, which I love that you're very excited about that. I've actually had people say, I will never vote for her because her name is Buffy. And I'm like, that's a strange way to make a decision. We should take democracy a little bit more seriously than that, right?
Well, people voted for Bush because they felt they could have beer with him. So
that's true. People voted for Donald Trump. What are you going to do? I'm happy to tell you a little bit about who the heck I am and why I'm running for this seat and what the State Assembly does, which is a valid question. But first, I would love to go around the room and just tell me the top issue or two that you're most concerned about when you think about politics right now. And I know that there are a lot of options, right? Everything from sort of is democracy at peril to I need to get someone to fix the potholes in front of my house or whatever. But just what's top of mind? What are you most worried about? What's pressing for you when you think about politics? Why don't we start here? Yes, you.
A hospital.
A hospital.
That's the biggest thing. We have a hospital desert.
Yep.
I was just talking to someone that we used to have 3 hospitals within 1 or 2 miles of each other, and now we are down to 1, and soon even less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
national, state, or local?
Whatever's top
Where
of
do we
mind.
start?
Yeah.
National. I dream of the day when we get rid of the orange plum.
Yes.
I dream of the day when we embrace multiculturalism in this country. I dream of the day when we don't demonize Hispanics like myself, immigrants like myself.
We are a nation of immigrants, in
we
fact.
are a nation of immigrants. State, I hope Gavin gets elected.
He's going to.
Gavin. I'm pretty sure he is. I've been supporting him since he allowed my husband and I to get married many years ago. And at the local level, I really want more emphasis to be paid to education, and because it's ridiculous. It's like as a public school teacher, for example, now that the semester's just started, I submitted a list of 20 different items that I needed for my classroom. I got construction paper. That's it. So every semester, I have to spend about $1,000 out of my own pocket to educate.
Where do you teach?
El Cerrito High. Which is not fair because I've never worked for so little in my life.
Yeah.
And then I am really concerned about the inequality that emanated from Prop 13.
Yep.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that we bought our house up in East Richmond Heights and we completely redid our house. We raised everybody else's property value, yet we're the ones paying $11,000 a year in property tax while my neighbor next door pays $400. That to me is ridiculous. So
okay, great. Thank you for all of those.
My name's Melissa, and I'm also a teacher, and I used to teach in West Contra Costa, but as a single parent, it was just not feasible. I couldn't do it anymore. And I switched jobs to go into teaching. I came from private sector. I was working in a beautiful, cushy job that I had the velvet handcuffs and everything, but I was like, I can't do this anymore.
You were miserable, and you wanted to do something more
I wanted to
meaningful.
get back to the community. And then when the downturn hit, people in human resources where I was working were hit hardest. We knew we were writing all the letters to say goodbye to people, but we knew as soon as we were done, we were going to cleaning up our own offices.
Yeah.
So it gave me an opportunity to work in education.
And so where did you start teaching?
I started teaching at De Anza High School. I did I did my student teaching there before De Anza was made into the new De Anza. And the way that public funds are spent on turnaround schools, you have 3 years to turn the school around. That's not even a full class year, like from 9th grade to 11th grade. You're not seeing a whole student body graduate.
Right.
The income that was presented to us to turn around the school, to give the extra hours, to make sure that we were there for the kids, we got a 20% bump, which is why I could work at that school. And then whenever the grant was gone, nobody had the foresight in the district to think about those teachers that couldn't live without that 20%.
Right.
And so
The
those of us-
teachers were almost sort of punished once that was over, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so there was this mass exodus, and what are the kids that I see on the street? Oh, you got out of there, Corrigan. You got out of there. You got away from it. It was so bad. And it's like, no, I love you
And
guys.
do you teach now?
I teach now, and I teach in a middle school in Berkeley, and it's a very different demographic. But I live in Richmond. I can't,
And you're at a public school in Berkeley?
I teach at Willard Middle School in Berkeley,
Okay.
just down from the university. And it's a great school. They're great kids. And there are similar problems because the haves and have-nots are like this.
Yep.
And a lot of that is Proposition 13. And you may say, oh, well, Proposition 13 just cut taxes. But I remember when Proposition 13 wasn't in place, and I went to summer school for fun.
Yeah.
I had after-school programs that cared for me after school. I
Yeah.
was able to do art and dance and music, and all that stuff was included in the school.
Right.
And it was a community place.
Yep.
It wasn't just, this is where I drop off my kids and I run away.
Right.
And it's also true that at that time there were more people at home, so you did have more volunteers who weren't expecting a paycheck. But with the disparity in income,
Yeah.
you have to have two-parent families
Yeah.
working. And then when I went, okay, this is the other crazy thing. I was working in San Francisco, and my daughter at the time was in childcare up until she became a kindergartner. I was so excited. Oh, kindergarten's coming. And now she's going to get to go to kindergarten, and I don't have to pay that $1,000 a month for preschool anymore. No, I didn't have to, but I did have to pay $750 for 3 hours of care after school,
Right.
and zero care from a.m. until 12:30 when she started kindergarten.
Yeah.
Phenomenally ridiculous.
Yep.
The preschool that she was originally at,
Yep.
from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. I could have left her there. I never did, but it was covered in the tuition.
Right.
And then the amount of money that the after-school workers got paid,
Yeah.
very, very poor educational
Yeah.
skills, very, very low income,
Yeah.
really hardship conditions for those workers.
Yeah.
So we worked it out, and now my kid is in private school. I'm a public school educator.
Right.
I believe in public education.
Right.
But it's not for my kid.
Yeah.
Because there's no place for her high intellect. We're teaching to the middle, and we're trying to be in the bottom up to
Yeah.
the middle. And all the kids that are at the top, they're getting lost. So this disparity in income, the fact that I depend
The underfunding.
on
Yeah.
Richmond's rent control to stay in the area, I don't know what the future holds. If
Yeah.
my landlady dies, I'm up for grabs.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I'm Nathan. I live here, and I know the things that are top of mind for me these days, just selfishly, are things that probably the assembly doesn't have much to do with, like elder care. Bike commuting is something that I do from here to Berkeley, and it's actually been working for me for years. So but I'm always worried about that kind of safety. And of course, the thing that affects my family as a whole is that one of the elders that we're caring for, my wife's dad, has, as you've probably heard from Alana before, his only retirement plan is the fact that he has this building that he rents out as an apartment, and the
Hello, everybody. You want to sit here, Chrissy?
And-
I got a seat for you.
and so
Hi,
we're
everybody.
Hi.
so the thing that worries us now is I find myself really of two minds and kind of split about rent control, and I think that I wish that it wouldn't turn into something that had to be like at the national level, how everything has to be
So
this
polarized.
extreme false dichotomy
Yeah.
between well, they're either
Right.
fat cats or they're salt of the earth.
Right.
And the idea that my father-in-law is sort of barely able to live in the least expensive continuing care facility that we can find. He's not a fat cat,
Right.
but he is a landlord, at least technically. And it's not as simple as you're either sitting pretty on Easy Street or
Yeah.
And at the same time, I also don't think that any tenants, I've been a tenant, I don't think any tenant should be gouged and treated unfairly or pushed out.
Right. I think it's like finding the right policy solutions that help the people that need the help, but still enable people like your father to have what they need.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's again that nuanced view. It's something that tries to understand both sides and
right.
and address both. That's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you. Go ahead, Uche.
So, housing,
Yep.
schools, and I think those are my thoughts.
Housing and education seem to be the common theme of the evening. Yeah.
Yeah, as a parent of public school kids, education.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
I have an El Cerrito High student and a sixth grader at Harding. We're in El Cerrito.
Yeah.
And I've been involved. I'm the PTSA president at El Cerrito High now, and and so I would just say we have a wish list that parents donate money, but I wish it wasn't the parents donating money.
Right. We wish they didn't have to be that way. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. My name is Ken. My biggest interest is single-payer health care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if any of you people have ever supported your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, especially if they're under 65. It's really, really tough.
Yeah.
I did that before Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't get insurance.
You just literally won't give it to you. Yeah.
They basically tell you, hey, go ahead and die. We're going to insure you.
Yeah.
I would like a national one-payer system, like Medicare for everybody.
Yeah.
I'd gladly give them more money.
Yep. Yep. Thank you.
And also more hospitals, like Caesar says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need that around here.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people in Western Contra Costa County, and 2 of the hospitals closed down in the past, 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were 3 hospitals around here. Kaiser's the only one open,
Mm-hmm.
period. And in emergency, they can't handle it.
Yep. Thank you.
So those are my major concerns.
Thank you.
Yeah, same as Kim, single payer healthcare, because we're getting older.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have to lose our home
Right.
because we have to pay bills when we get older.
Right. It shouldn't be that's the choice you have to make.
And I'm also keeping Proposition 13 in place for property homeowners.
For residential.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I knew when it first started, there were people losing their homes
Mm-hmm.
through no fault of their own, just because their property values skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that was wholly unfair.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm a Prop 13, my name is Norma, born in San Francisco. I'm a Prop 13 beneficiary from my parents. My mother is a first generation person in the United States. And it's interesting I think things should be equal in that if I could sign to pay more, I would, but I don't think there's a way that the city, you give an invoice and you pay the invoice and that's how much you can contribute. So I think fairness in that would be great, but also I appreciate what the woman before me just said, that I would have to sell the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would sell it for market rate, and it would be it would either be lived in or rented for much more than I'm renting it out for now.
Mm-hmm.
To a bed with a cat, a newborn kid. I personally don't have kids. I support the issues of education and housing, and the hospital issue that everybody has spoken so of.
Mm-hmm.
I rescue abandoned animals, companion animals, particularly cats, and I know at the state level we can do a lot as far as legislation to make things better for companion animals.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you.
Yeah, I've written a little list. The first one on my list is corruption.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very concerned about corruption on the local and all the way to the national level.
Mm-hmm.
I observe it a lot. I'm concerned about rent control. It needs to be a fairer thing for both landlords and for tenants. It's just amazing how the rents skyrocketed so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about the environment.
Mm-hmm.
The economy, and of course I think the economy has a lot to do with some of these other things that are going on, but the crush of the middle class, we've all experienced that, everywhere.
Just income inequality, yeah.
There are people who are able to afford to live in an apartment and can't anymore.
Yep.
Et cetera. And what we've been seeing, especially with rent control, is pitting the landlords against the renters and the people who are struggling to be in the middle class against the people who are in the lower class.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking then about the 1%, the ones who are really taking all the money.
Yeah.
Off of. And concerned about what's happened to unions over the years. So a lot of this has to do with the economy.
Yep.
And I definitely agree with the single payer health care.
Great, thank you. Hi, welcome. We're just doing name and the top issue or two that you're most concerned about politically.
I'm not very political. That's
Okay.
my introduction. I'm Francine. I'm a retired teacher.
Oh,
I've taught
great.
French for many years, so I've lost a lot of friends because of politics. So
Okay. Well, hopefully you're in a safe space here. Well, thank you very much. And right here?
I'm a student that public schools don't give enough resources at all.
Yep.
The teachers are struggling.
Yep.
The students are struggling.
Yep.
I notice it every day, and other residents and homes too interested. You're busy all the time.
Thank you. Great. And